know, it's crazy. I go past there and everything's gone.
Everything now?
I can't even. It's probably one of the hardest pills to swallow.
Really?
In my life. Yeah.
Do you think that you could ever feel that, like, have that much of a vibe at another spot? And also, do you think that could ever exist at a skate plaza?
No.
Because it should be easier because you're not getting kicked out.
Well,
but instead, some of the allure is gone.
On camera happen. So I have memories of everything that was never filmed.
Okay.
And I have friends that passed away. I have childhood memories of just like, yo, love was crazy. Because at that time, in the 90s, it wasn't all of this camera stuff. It wasn't technology. It was, oh, I need to be home by 8 o'clock because I just got this girl phone number and she might call before 8:30, or Martin coming on, like it was just so many different things to do naturally that even if I wasn't riding a skateboard the way I was raised, I would still miss my childhood. You know what I mean? Philadelphia is a great city, and the upbringing is just tough love. And if you could really understand the vibe of that, you could make it anywhere. You know what I mean? And that's why I think that I lasted so long, because where I come from is just it's a different place.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's crazy to think that at that point in your life, like, you could just be happy spending a huge amount of your time just out skating. And it's like, as life gets more and more complicated, all of a sudden it becomes like you want to accomplish so much that you couldn't really imagine yourself being happy just chilling in the city all day, every day, right? Are you in that position? Because that's where I'm at. Like, I have to get so much shit done in my mind to be satisfied with that day that I can't really just separate like a big ass chunk of my day to go chill. And when you're 18 or whatever, that's just the name of the game.
No, you got kids?
No, not yet.
There you go. Yeah.
It's gonna get worse then, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I got 3 kids, you know what I mean? 2 teenagers and a little young one that's just like think he grown.
Yeah, okay.
And it made me switch my life up on like really what's important, keeping it real and hanging with niggas that I think I like we don't live the same code no more. Like, I don't owe you shit because of what we did back in the day type shit. Like, we all grown.
Right.
And when that clicked, it was more like, my kids is my little homies. They get all of the information. I went through all of this stuff for them. So I explained to them through my trial and errors, my trial and tribulations on like how to handle this stuff, because they not surviving. They don't survive. They're just kids.
Right.
You dig? Like, my childhood was totally different than my kids. So I don't want them growing up with the same adversity challenges. Now, I don't know the challenges they gonna get for being who they are now, but they still get my support. But as far as me not giving them the same challenges that was thrown my way, like, that's another job on my own. You feel me? So outside of like my career, just me being a human being, me being the best person I can be, as authentic, so I can be like the best dad possible to my kids, which is, not perfect, but at the end of the day, like, that, I want that to reflect who I am as a human being, not just like some nigga that's jump on a fucking skateboard because he from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Because I lived that already. That shit is crazy. Like,
how do you balance that though? Like, in terms of trying to be the best dad possible, but then also trying to stay relevant as a skater and continue to enjoy skating?
That shit hard. Because I go through my like upbringing and think like, it's normal. But then I look at my kids and be like, damn, he ain't nothing like how I grew up. Right. And then I look at DGK, the skateboard company, and see all of the dope kids that come from under the brand. You know what I'm saying? My homie Cooley that helped me like structure it. My partner Troy, like everybody that actually been with the brand DGK for the past like 17 years. Like, we all came a long way. You dig what I'm saying? So even though it's a reflection of me, I'm still a reflection of everything that gets done, from the business, the skate team, me being the dad, business, like, just having some downtime to chill and just, just showing what I learned over the past 20 years and not just like flexing. You feel me? Like, it's good to do both, but it's good to balance it out because, you got to have some type of longevity in the shit. So I'm kind of just like a reflection of my brand, to be honest with you.
What was it having kids though? Like, how excited are they about the skating thing, or is it ever like a challenge for them to? Is there like a day where they just decide that they get it and they think it's dope?
My youngest son, he skate, and like he make me skate more because he's so into it, right?
Really?
My oldest son, he play ball, he the truth, and my daughter, she just like, artistic and creative. So I don't know, it works though, because skateboarding ain't just like, oh, hop on a board. It's like design aspects, it's creativity.
Right.
There's photography, editing, being able to have the eye, being able to communicate, being able to just travel. I mean, it's a lot that come with it, yo. I ain't even gonna
like.
front.
I really realized that one year when I went to Woodward, and I realized that they had a fucking video and like photo department now. Like there were like little kids like marching around with like a video camera backpack, and I would be like, that kid doesn't look like he belongs here. And then I realized, like, oh, he wants to be a filmer.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of legit ways that you can interact with this shit besides just being good as fuck on a board or whatever.
And this is why skateboarding is such a blessing, right? Because even though you're a kid and you like 12, 13, maybe 15, you like, damn, I'm never going to be sponsored. But that don't mean you got to give up. You could still find ways to contribute to help your homies if they're your homies, Learn how to film, learn how to edit, learn how to take photos. You can be the one, if you're 16, you got the car, navigation. A lot of sponsored kids need moral support, because when you do get sponsored, the sponsor takes you from your homies and then they place you with the team. So you miss your friends. Everybody want to go back home. It's like, it's a lot that come with it. So you don't have to just give up because you ain't good at it. You can just find your place and help out and be a part of the squad, because now skaters got their own squads, and you can't tell anybody they can't do anything with the power of like free social media. That's the blessing.
That's gonna be the scary shit for somebody in your position who's interested in building brands and shit, is that these kids see adults building brands and then they sort of just like mirror all the techniques that they're doing, but they're young and they're raw and they got all this time on their hands and shit, and they can end up like basically forming brands that end up looking almost as cool or cooler in some perspective.
The keyword almost.
Almost? Okay, let's go to almost. Yeah.
Only because they don't have the experience.
Right.
And I don't discourage anybody from starting their own shit. Like, hell yeah, do it. Yeah. And then you'll learn what it takes to be a nigga like me. You feel me? Right. Because I was that same dude thinking I could just start my own shit, and I did. And look, it still took 16, 17 years later, and we still like not at the like point where we think that we can be. Yeah. So it's fun, do it. Instead of you gonna be working at Taco Bell or some shit. Yeah. You feel me? So that's what I tell my kids. I ain't gonna front.
Is there one kid who plays ball? Like, was he just always more of like that type of kid who was just more into like team sports and shit?
He just didn't fuck with skating.
Really? But was that hard for you to accept? I love
basketball. No, I don't care. No, because what a lot of people don't understand about me is that I love skateboarding and I'm good at it, and I appreciate my gift from God, which is like God-given talent. But I always wanted just to be a dope, fly street nigga. Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I grew up seeing. That's what my family was. That's what my friends was. And it just so happened that God picked me to ride a skateboard. And before I let that talent go to waste, I did something with it. So people are like, oh, I'm just like a nigga from Philly that just wanted to be fly and dope for me and my family. Right. To have a good reputation and make some money, travel the world, and just do my thing. That's just the type of nigga I am.
But it's got to feel good doing the thing that you were passionate about at 15. Whereas, like, I look at people all the time that just like run businesses, or they got shit that they invested in, whatever, and they got money and nice cars and shit. And I think it's dope. But if you have to spend all your time sitting in meetings about some bullshit,
I did that too. I mean, I did so much that skateboarding was corny for 20 years of my life. Really? 25 years of my life.
Corny, like you thought other people thought it was corny when you were a kid?
Everybody thought skating was corny, except for my industry that respected the art and the craft of what we do. Right. Which is cool because we get paid and we do our thing. But off the board, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you tell anybody, whether it's a girl, a rapper, somebody popular or famous, like, yeah, I'm a professional skateboarder, they be like, they'll laugh. Like, it's like a little silent smirk, or like they don't believe you.
But you don't think people understood that by like 2000? Like Tony Hawk 2, Jackass type era was when everybody started to like think it was kind of cool. But I guess you're coming from a different world.
Not from the hood. Like, you know, and I appreciate the fight to making it cool.
Right.
But it was like dudes like Pharrell, Lil Wayne, Justin Bieber, Wiz Khalifa, anybody that actually like, you know, Lupe Fiasco, like Rich the Kid, a lot of people that was popular enough to hop on a skateboard to give it light for it to be barbershop talk. You dig what I'm saying? That's why I give TK all of the credit in the world, because he made it at a popular point so much that with him dating the joint Angela Simmons, like skateboarding became like somewhat a barbershop beauty talk. You dig what I'm saying? And where we from, that's like you made it if they talking about you at the barbershop, right?
Yeah. That's hilarious, bro.
But then
they're still talking about who Muska gave dick to back in the day too. There's like so many people that like skaters just fucking with a famous chick was like huge at that time.
That's what we do though. Like it's you know, we the grimy dirt balls that they really fuck with. But it's just because our lifestyle or whatever. But I noticed that like as far as the culture, because it wasn't until Wayne really started skating and took it like to the next level where it became like kind of talk of the barbershop, where it's like, this nigga Wayne crazy, this nigga riding a motherfucking skateboard. It was like, damn, like breaking the mold, like I said earlier, like taking those hurdles or breaking the mold or breaking that wall down for people to just like see it a certain way. It takes somebody like a Pharrell, like a Wayne, or somebody that just say, fuck what everybody think. I'm going to do this anyway. And that's the attitude we all have.
Was that a little bit weird for you, though? Like, you're putting in work for all these years, and then all of a sudden Lil Wayne does an ollie, and then a lot of people just are convinced that you're tight now. Like, and it has nothing to do with anything. You're still doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean...
What was that like? Was it
no, Wayne my man. No, that's my dog. Yeah.
And that's actually what's crazy.
It was more like when Pharrell came, I felt like a little challenged.
Skateboard P.
Yeah, Skateboard P. And me and Pharrell cool. I talked to Pharrell about it, and I had my differences because I was younger. And what I didn't realize is that we both was actually fighting for the same fight. You know what I mean? I just didn't clearly understand entertainment at that time. And if I did, I probably would have did it the same way. But I just would have had a better understanding, you know what I mean?
It's funny as fuck to me because Wayne, as a skateboarder, has aged well. Like, he clearly is like really committed to it and still talks about it all the time. He was on the 9 Club a couple months ago, whatever.
That's my dog,
That's amazing. When I saw it and I was like, whoa, this might be too much, was when I seen Soulja Boy standing on a skateboard rapping, and he wasn't even moving. He was just rapping into the camera, standing on the board. I'm like,
that's what I'm talking about.
That might be too much right there.
The influence of somebody that big magnifies like the culture so well that a nigga like me can't even do nothing about it but appreciate it. You feel what I'm saying?
But that must have been great for you, because it's like, oh, now skateboarding's cool, and you're the dude who actually has been getting paid and has been getting photos in magazines and all this shit for all these years. Everybody probably has to then look away from Wayne and be like, oh, so Stevie's like the really valid dude. No, you don't feel like that's how it worked out?
Fuck no, it never works out that way. Nah, it don't work like that. It don't work that way for Stevie for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, it's cool though. I mean,
that's interesting.
It's only because I don't really give a fuck. Like I skate, you know what I mean? I'm a skate rat, skate nerd, and I appreciate everything that everybody does to put the shit in the faces of people that make it cool. I can't do it by myself, and I'm not trying to. So I give it up for people that really do it the way they do it. And I didn't talk to Wayne about it. We had countless hours about skateboarding and going over tricks, and we didn't travel. And I appreciate everything that he did. Even for Soulja Boy to stand on the skateboard too, even ironic as that, it's just any attention that can give to the little kids for inspiration, to know that this was a tool that can actually get you out of your circumstances if you're in some difficult circumstances. this shit'll get you out the hood. Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy Stevie Williams. Once again, thanks for watching these clips. But make sure you go out and check out the full-length video with No Jumper. Like, subscribe, and comment. You know what I mean? Follow.